Hey, Cal here, and today's video I'm going to talk about how you don't have to necessarily give up your dreams of being a real estate investor if you switch to being a note investor. And by following the steps that are required to find good mortgage note deals, there's also ways that you can acquire some really great property deals and continue buying houses at the same time that you buy notes, if that's what you fancy. So today we're going to talk about the fact that when we get a tape from a bank asset manager, a note investor that has inventory they're selling off. It could even be a note or a loan servicing company that is selling off notes for their investor clients. As a note investor, when you get a tape of notes to choose from that the seller is selling, these are great opportunities sometimes to actually buy the house instead of buying the note. And the reason for that is a lot of times banks and asset managers are going to be selling off what we call non-performing notes, right? So these are mortgage loans where the borrowers have stopped paying for a certain amount of time. They might only be a month behind, or they might be 3-6 months behind on their payments. But sometimes you're going to see notes that are so non-performing that the borrower hasn't made a payment for 10-15 years. But for whatever reason, that bank is still holding on to that note. They haven't foreclosed or done anything with it. Okay, so these are great opportunities. You can buy the note and then foreclose and take the property back or sell the property off. You could buy the note and hope to get the borrower, work with them one-on-one to try to get them paying again and get back current on their mortgage through a loan modification and allow them to stay in their home, and then create a nice cash flow opportunity for yourself as you are the note investor that now owns a performing note. But if you don't want to buy the note, there's also opportunity to reach out to these same people that are non-performing, right? They're not making their loan payments on their mortgage, so obviously they're having some sort of financial or affordability issues that are keeping them from making their payments, right? Or maybe they passed away. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunity by getting these lists or these tapes of notes from asset managers, note investors, or whoever who's selling notes, and then reaching out directly to these property owners. Because when you get a tape of notes, you're going to get the property address and you're going to get the borrower's name. And now it's really easy. All you have to do is either send a piece of mail or skip trace that owner and get their phone number and email and reach out to them and just see if maybe they're motivated to sell their house. And they probably are, because they're not making their payments, right? They're in a lot of probably financial stress, and they could do with selling off the house. And maybe there's reasons why they haven't sold yet. Maybe they're thinking of selling, or maybe it's just the fact that no one's pushed them far enough to have to sell because there's no foreclosure been started yet. But these are perfect motivated sellers, and a lot of times these motivated sellers haven't shown up on anyone else's radar yet as far as competing investors. If any of you have been out and tried to buy pre-foreclosure properties, it's very competitive in most cities because real estate investors will print off the pre-foreclosure lists, or they'll access these pre-foreclosure lists where the foreclosure is started by the lender, the note holder, and then it gets registered in the county record. There's a notice that gets filed. And so once it gets filed, all the investors shark in and try to buy that deal, try to reach out to the homeowner and see if they'll sell for cash at a cheap price, right? So that's really competitive. But if you can target the non-performing notes where the foreclosure hasn't started yet, these are pre-foreclosure homeowners, right? So they're obviously in trouble. They're not making their payments, but the foreclosure hasn't started yet. So all the investor sharks haven't smelled the blood yet. And so if you can get ahead of the game and reach out to these people, send them a letter, see if you can buy their house, it could be some great opportunities to buy real estate. And the other thing is, if it is a deceased homeowner and you know how to do a little skip tracing and track down the heirs, there might be opportunity there to find the son or daughter of the deceased homeowners, or whatever it might be, track down their heirs, and maybe you can negotiate a way to buy their home from the heirs who would be inheriting that property and probably don't want it, don't know what to do with it. Maybe it's costing them a lot of money in property taxes and upkeep, and that's why they've not been making the mortgage payment, because they don't want another house. So tons of opportunities by using tapes provided by asset managers who are selling notes and trying to buy the house. And you could do both. So you could try and buy the house, but at the same time, make a bid on the note. So that way, one way or another, you might come up with a win. You might buy the note and then be able to make money that way, or you might be able to buy the house and not buy the note and make money that way. So lots of opportunities for real estate investors just by taking the path of a note investor and networking with these asset managers. And I do a lot of that through LinkedIn. Try to network with bank asset managers, other note investors, loan servicing companies, the like, and just try to grow my network and reach out to these people regularly. Like I try every month to reach out to my list of bank asset managers and see if they maybe just have notes for sale. So there's another way, maybe a less competitive way to find motivated sellers in pre-foreclosure. Hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to my channel, leave any comments or questions below, and I'd be happy to answer them. Take care.